The morning mist clings to the jagged limestone hills outside Damascus, masking a fortress that remains invisible to the world. Here, the air carries a metallic tang, a heavy silence broken only by the low, rhythmic hum of high-voltage fences. Satellite imagery reveals a three-pointed star of concrete, a geometric anomaly etched into the Syrian desert. To the regime, it is officially a military research center. To the families of the disappeared, it is simply the human slaughterhouse, Saydnaya. Behind these thick, reinforced walls, time does not flow. It rots. Thousands of souls have vanished into this architectural void, victims of a system designed not just to punish, but to erase the very concept of human dignity and identity. In the flickering light of a basement bulb, we see the shadows of those who were never meant to be found. This is the story of 300,000 missing people, a systematic network of terror engineered to maintain absolute, crushing control. Part 1. The Architects of Terror. The blueprint for this nightmare was drafted by Hafez al-Assad, the architect of fear. He believed a leader should be feared rather than loved, building a legacy where a single, whispered name could make a whole city go silent. His son, Bashar, expanded this dark inheritance, weaving a web of secret intelligence branches across the nation. Beneath the polished veneer of modern governance lay a brutal machinery of disappearance, where citizens vanished into thin air during the routine workday. Maher al-Assad, the brother and enforcer, became the face of the regime's iron fist. In 2008, he reportedly betrayed a negotiated truce with rioting prisoners, turning the courtyard into a killing field and cementing Saydnaya's reputation as a lethal dead end. Even the highest circles were complicit in the cruelty. Reports suggest al-Assad utilized the notorious Branch 251 to extort millions from businessmen. In this shadow economy, human lives became chips in a high-stakes game of survival and greed. This vast architecture of agony remained hidden until a military photographer, codenamed Caesar, fled the country. He carried 55,000 digital ghosts, meticulous photos of emaciated corpses, each tagged with a bureaucratic number, documenting a genocide hidden in plain sight. Part 2. The Chromatic Hell. Entering Saydnaya begins with the welcome, a ritual of indiscriminate violence. Prisoners are beaten until their spirits shatter, ensuring they understand that within these walls, the law of the land has been replaced by the law of the whip. The prison is a chromatic hell, color-coded by the severity of suffering. The white building houses those who might one day leave, though they carry the stench of old paper and the permanent scars of psychological trauma back to society. Then there is the red building, where the walls are said to be stained with the literal blood of the fallen. Following the 2008 massacre, survivors were allegedly forced to use the remains of their brothers to paint the facility. The blue building serves as the final stop, the primary site for mass executions. Here, the whole awaits, a cramped vertical pit where men sit in total isolation and filth, counting the seconds until the heavy iron door opens forever. Deep beneath the earth lies the black building, a place of rumored high-level interrogations. It is whispered that international entities contracted the regime here, using the facility's absolute secrecy to make their own inconvenient enemies disappear into the dark. Part 3. The Engineering of Agony. Inside these cells, the regime perfected the engineering of torture. Prisoners are folded into car tires, the dulab, to be beaten, or hung by their wrists for days in the ghost position, suspended between a slow death and a painful life. Perhaps most chilling are the salt rooms. These vast, crystalline chambers act as natural morgues, preserving stacks of bodies. New arrivals are forced to witness this grisly storage, a psychological tactic meant to show them that death is inevitable. Mazen Hamada became a symbol of this struggle, a man who survived the tire and the ghost to tell his story. Yet even his bravery had a tragic end. Lured back by false promises, he vanished into the system again. As the regime finally crumbled, the world began to look for the truth. Teams like the White Helmets now pick through the rubble of secret bunkers, searching for any sign of the 300,000 who never returned to their families. The smell of damp earth and stale air greets the excavators. They find empty shackles and discarded uniforms, but the sheer scale of the disappearance suggests many were moved or liquidated in the final, desperate days of the collapse. Part 4. The Ghosts Speak. Saydnaya was never just a prison. It was a factory of silence. It was a place where the regime attempted to bury the conscience of a nation, proving that terror is most effective when it is organized and meticulously documented. The 300,000 missing souls are not just statistics. They are the fathers, daughters, and scholars of a broken land. Their absence is a hollow ache in the heart of Syria, a void that no political transition can easily fill or forget. We must look at the Caesar photos and remember the names of the dead, for their stories are the only shield we have against such darkness rising again. Truth is the only light capable of penetrating the thickest concrete walls. As the sun sets over the ruins of the human slaughterhouse, the world must finally answer for what it allowed to happen. In the end, the regime built a monument to fear, but they forgot that ghosts eventually speak.